Well, welcome to the Golf Podcast Live. I'm your host, Raphael, and I'm here with Mike. This is season three, episode 107. Pretty exciting stuff, Mike. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. It's great to crack the egg into season three here. We've been on a little bit of a hiatus. Raf, great to see you on the screen again. I've seen a lot of you offline, but yeah, welcome back. There's lots going on. We had a bit of a break through the holidays and a couple things that came up, but we're back at it and we're happy to be here. So thank you to some of our sponsors, Shape and Swelter. You can see their logo on the screen now, and we'll have links to their website. We're going to do a little feature shortly on his product. It's unbelievable. Yeah, and who else, Ralph?
Well, we're really excited to talk about Lagmaster Paradox, but all the news headlines are really exciting these days. I mean, we got the 2026 Solheim captain announced today, Anna Nordquist. There's the Live PGA Tour, uh, talk that everybody's into all the time, including Paige Spiranac being in the news. She wants to ban the putting method. I don't know how she got so much publicity, but maybe I do know why. And she's even on Fox News. there's uh, there's the whole aim point thing, right? That's what we're talking about. PGA Tour has leverage and talks. Do they? We'll see. There's the Mexico Open, Mike. We got a first time winner. We'll be talking about that with, the prodigy, Aldrich Potgieter. He's pretty exciting to watch him play and hit the ball. And yeah, let's get into it. Mexico Open. I know we didn't get a chance to watch too much of it. The golf is a little bit different. It's a little bit on the boring side due to the fact that there's not that many big names out in Mexico.
Yeah, I mean, there was a big event last week. So, the makeup event, the Genesis, which they did at Torrey Pines because of the fires. That's probably attributes to a little bit of the weaker field, but it's an opportunity for some of these up and coming players to get some points and some money, like Brian Campbell changed his life yesterday. Big check, lots of
Big
points.
check.
He's in the
Yeah,
map. So his life is looking a lot different this morning than it did last week.
it's amazing what one lucky bounce can do. Two playoff holes, again, playing against South Africa's 21-year-old Aldrich Poltgeiter, who's just an incredible golfer. And it was kind of dramatic. There's no doubt that playoff golf is always fun to watch. You want to always see the back nine and then maybe see a playoff. It extends things and makes them exciting. The golf course seemed pretty simple, wide open. They played at the Vidanta World, which is a couple hours west, I guess, of Mexico City.
Hmm.
And those fairways are really wide. So anybody could just hit it as hard as they can. Like, so some of these carries were 330, 340 yards, which is just something I don't understand.
That
Something
long? That seems like almost impossible.
I
Uh,
know, but they had a lot of downwind shots.
right.
There's a couple of holes that, the winds were pretty high on a couple of those days and slightly slopes. If you hit the right, speed slot, as they say, you
Mhm.
get down there over 315 to 330. Pretty incredible.
Good looking golf course. Was it in Nuevo Vallarta? Was that correct?
Yeah, there's a Vallarta area, and there's a whole bunch of names to Vallartas. There's like Nuevo's one area, but they're I
Yeah.
don't know them off by hand.
Yeah, there's so a Port Vallarta is what we all know. Nuevo, I believe, it's New Vallarta. It's the newer section, lots of resorts. This course looked really cool online. I didn't watch this much or that much this weekend, but I have been watching a lot more PGA Tour this year
Yeah.
because from the Century, the Tournament of Champions, and a lot of January, our weather was kind of cold and not favorable here. So I did end up watching more than usual, but I find overall that there's just so much golf on TV right now. It's really hard. The As we know, the tour is fractured. Some players on live, the PGA Tour is a little thinned out. So it's kind of hard to watch all our favorite players. It's spread out. So we'll get to that shortly.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's life changing for anybody. Mike, you got to stop playing around with your mic over there. It's like uh, it's making a little bit of noise. But look, any victory is life changing. It's 10 years in the making. You can see, obviously, we always love to see, the family or the wife or the girlfriend run out onto the green. The celebration, the emotion of it all. How much hard work it is to reach that kind of level in today's competitive landscape and ecosystem in golf.
Mm,
It's never been this competitive. So, being able to chase down a victory, get an invite to the Masters, like you said, go now to the Players,
mhm.
2 year exemption on tour through 2027 really settles your mind on where the money's going to come from. Um, and it's a beautiful thing. I'm pretty excited.
Yeah.
This whole season's been pretty exciting with the Phoenix Open, the whole West Coast tour starting up in Hawaii.
Hmm.
It's pretty great. Live has kind of faded away, it seems, from the news, even though they're in the news more. It seems there's less excitement about the actual events.
Yeah. But then they had their Adelaide event, and I would like to show. I've just thought of a clip I saw. And we'll get to that later. But there was 250,000 people watching at weird hours. I remember, they're way ahead of us. Um, but they had a huge DJ show up. They had a massive, basically a rave after the tournament, and it's just unlike anything that you've ever seen in North America. So it was really cool. Um,
That's right. In Australia, they're really, it's a great golf crowd. It reminds me a lot of the crowd that we have here in Canada. They're very vocal. They show up, whether it's the President's Cup
yeah,
or it's a Canadian Open on a Sunday. It is absolutely insane, right? But so they're longing for the golf, and it's a great market for them. Um, let's queue up our sponsor, Shape and Swelter, and show the product whenever you get a chance.
sure.
But we're gonna be talking about PGA and Live, and this is very exciting stuff coming in, especially with the influencers changing everything on YouTube.
Absolutely. And just quickly, we're going to show you Shape and Swelter. It's a product designed by Rob Snyder. There's a short clip here. Product that extends the life of our hats.
Yep, that's
And
pretty great.
it is great. I've tested it out. It's awesome. It doesn't leave glue and stickiness all inside your hat.
I remember talking to Rob Labritz about the product as well. Basically, they're reusable hat sweat pads. So you know how you get your hat all salty or
Mm.
sweaty, or you got to throw out your hat because it gets dirty. So they're sweat pads, and they're easy to change. Um, yeah, it's an insert, and there's foam. It's basically like a sweatband that you place inside of the cap.
That's right. It's very easy to install.
And they're reusable. So that's awesome. So big shout out to Shape and Swelter. We're going to have a huge contest for the Masters. We're going to be doing giveaways of the pads themselves to our viewers and our listeners. So stay tuned, but don't go anywhere. We've got some really exciting stuff to talk about right now, Mike. We're going to be talking about a little bit about Tiger, about he's dropped out recently, probably because of injury, or he's trying to save himself. That's why he's not playing right now indoors.
And remember, his mother Kaltita passed away,
Right, right.
so he wasn't able to practice like he had in mind, and so he passed on playing at the Genesis. We hope to see him play soon. The field is always better when he's there, and really, we all want to see him contend, and we all want to see him win. And that's the big question mark. Are we going to see that happen? Us, the fans, we believe it's possible. It is Tiger Woods. He's one of the most determined golfers, if not athletes, in the planet. So time will tell. But golf is better when he's playing and he's in the mix.
Absolutely. I mean, we grew up watching him. I mean, we've been following his career for 25 years. It's always fun to watch him play. He's even on that leg, and after all those accidents and all those surgeries, even most recently, his surgery in September, um, I just feel that he's going to come around and he's going to be competitive. Now, will he win? That's the big question. Everybody asks that. Everybody wants to see that. Realistically, everybody's saying not really. It's never going to happen. But if there's somebody who could make it around the golf course, who knows it like the back of his hand, it would be the Masters or even the Players because it's fairly flat. It's in Florida.
Yeah.
If there's a golf course he's going to walk, he's looking pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't look great but he doesn't look like he's in pain, right? So last time we saw him walking around at his tournament over at the Genesis, at least he didn't look like he's cringing. How he's walking around like this. He's trying to keep a leveled face where he looks like he's holding everything in, like he's going to take a dump.
Yeah. Well, you could see it when he was bending over to get his ball out of the hole. You're like, oh, don't hurt yourself, Tiger. So, and you as golfers, we all go through injuries, and you can relate. When something's not feeling good in your body, and you've got to just do something simple: bend over and pick up a ball. Those are those little things. But he does look better. He looked pretty good at the PNC. So yeah, we're hopeful, and I think Sawgrass is a good course for him. It's in his backyard, pretty much. It's good chances it's going to be warm weather. Which bodes well for a back injury at no matter what you do. So yeah, let's see.
And if you're listening right now on one of our social media channels, you could always comment. We're going to get your comments. We might be able to post it up for you. We might be able to converse because we are live on X, on Facebook, on YouTube. And there's a lot going on, not only with Live, not only with PGA Tour, with the talks that are going on, and the surreal meeting with Donald Trump that Tiger had, and with Yasser, and with Jay Monahan. I've got a lot to say about all of this. So hypocrites.
Yeah, there's a lot here. It is really, and for fun, let's throw up this clip because people love to rip into Live, and this where it kind of tears on my heartstrings a little bit because all these players over at Live,
yep.
I miss seeing them. I miss seeing Rahm. I miss DeChambeau and Brooks Koepka. All these guys, like them or not, these were great.
And Cam Smith.
Oh yeah, 100%. So I got to set up this clip here, and because Liv is doing it differently, they're saying golf but louder. So let's take a look at this clip and tell me what you think.
Yeah, that does not look like a golf tournament.
This is DJ Dom Dalla, world-known DJ. He got to design his own booth, and he put that golf ball. He had that golf ball made for this show that he's playing out of. Isn't that something?
That's incredible. That does not look like a golf tournament, pre or post even.
Yeah.
Maybe something that you would see at Phoenix, and that's about it. But if that's what they're doing every other week or every event, that's pretty insane.
Yeah, they do it at every event, but the Australians have an extra gear that other people on the planet do not have. They really know how to get into it. They have their hole, much like the Phoenix Open on the par 316. They set up a hole very similar. It's loud. All the players pick their entrance song, and they have some fun with it. So, say what you want. It's happening. Live is not going anywhere. We've had a big meeting at the White House last week, as many golf fans know, and they're trying to get something happening. So they weren't successful in finalizing a deal. There's some hearsay that it didn't go as well as planned. There's other hearsay that it's a great step forward. We we weren't there. We're just waiting for the announcements. Jay Monahan was gave some accolades by President Trump. There is also some lots of comment that's gone around the last year that haven't been so positive for Jay Monahan. Like, let's listen to our guest, Alex Maselli, renowned golf writer, analyst, and business person. He's a very successful guy, and we had a great
Jay's
comment
a
from
great
him
guy.
here. It goes.
As an individual, he's a great guy.
Yeah,
absolutely. That does not mean you didn't completely screw this up with the live people. And it starts with, and I know you may have heard this before, but it starts with the simple thing in business. Again, the tour is not a business, but it really is.
Yeah.
In business, when you have a legitimate person that wants to talk to you about doing something, you at least take the call. Mm-hmm. Now, I don't know if he knew who Piff was. None of us knew who Piff was before
100%.
this all started. But Jay Monahan should have known who Piff was, and if he didn't know, then he should have called in some people and say, tell me who these people are. Because when somebody rolls in and knocks on the door and says, I want to talk about investing in you, and I have $750 billion behind me, then I think you take the call. I think you take the meeting. Doesn't mean it's going to go well. It doesn't mean it's going to happen, but at least you understand it. You want to be smarter than you were before you went in the meeting. That didn't happen. And I think that's the beginning of the process of the spiral of how this didn't work out right for the PGA Tour. And it still hasn't today. I mean, obviously we're talking, it's October 21st, 2024, which puts us, 15 months since the framework agreement. That thing is in the trash can. It's just been a very, very difficult thing. And, when you're running an organization, you need to be in control of your people. You need to give them the information. You need to make them feel comfortable with what you're doing. Never did that. Never made them comfortable. So then in turn, what happened is they kind of revolt against you. That is why we are where we are today, because his players have revolted against him.
That's right.
So, Jay's contract is up sometime, I think the middle of next year. I've heard many different things. But if I'm Jay Monahan, I've made a lot of money being PGA Tour commissioner. I think I should just be on the sidelines looking in at this point. I just think that this is not going in the right direction, and we need someone else in charge of the PGA Tour.
Look, Mike, hindsight is always 2020.
Yeah.
I mean, we could, but we've been on top of this from the beginning. Once it broke out, and it was amazing how everybody kind of jumped all over that tour and what they were doing, and especially those individuals, those golfers who are, people as well, right? They accepted the money, they want a better lifestyle. Now everybody's kind of agreeing, you do what you want to do, but that wasn't what everybody was saying, including, I'm not even just talking about legacy media, I'm talking about all podcasters, everybody. We were the very few, and there were very few people that agreed with us that this is all going to come back and bite you in the butt, right? There's accountability that he talks about. Yes, he should take accountability. Rory is just driving me nuts because he is a huge hypocrite and a big baby. Everybody I love his swing. Of course, I love his career. The guy drives me nuts. I don't know him personally, obviously. He might be a great person, but when he wears his heart on his sleeve, and we love to hear all the stuff, but he tied himself in so badly. Even recently says he still hates live. He still hates live, but the guys could do what they want. And, he made his money, and he's behind a lot of this stuff that's going on with these limited fields and, him making all this money. Of course he's comfortable. He even said we should just forget about it and move on. No, I don't think so, man. Now, same with Jay Monahan. Any entrepreneur, you're an entrepreneur, so am I. You do an audit, you do a budget, and you plan. It's business 101. None of that was done. Obviously, nobody knows the budget or the auditing of the PGA Tour, unfortunately, because it's not readily available. This framework agreement was a joke. And then you have Trump come into the situation and sort of spend 4 hours with Yasser this week. I mean, usually he's a busy man. He's a leader of the free world. And for him to actually spend that much time, he spends 10 minutes with Macron, right? Or with the president of India, but he does we all know he loves golf and he always makes golf references. But it's pretty.
He owns how many courses too, right? Like Trump is, he's knowledgeable about golf and the sport. And we're not, this isn't a political conversation where we're just acknowledging the reality, right? And, obviously if there's a deal in place, Trump will be the first guy out there to say that he's got it done. But I don't really care. I would like to see, excluding the majors, I'd like to see a powerful field with the best players there. And even the majors, there's limited options for these live guys to get in. However, the U.S. Open and the Open Championship have a pathway for 3 players to enter. So it's starting to come around. If they address the world ranking points, and either they have to change the live format to adhere to that, which I don't think would be a terrible idea if they went to 4 events. I don't think the shotgun start really makes a difference in that, but having 4 events might be the catalyst to getting those ranking points. But we got to also remember who's in control of the world ranking points. It's most of the people on the PGA Tour, the European Tour, now the DP World Tour. There a lot of these guys, they're on the board of directors, so they're the ones that are going to make the decision. So
yeah, but I'm getting the feeling that even with a lot of those players, they really don't know what's going on the inside. And Rory's a perfect example of sitting on the board, being the ambassador or the face of the PGA Tour over the course of all this discourse and all this disruption. And in the end of the day, it looked like he didn't even know what was going on, because now they're going to when they announced that framework agreement, he took a step back. Yeah. Even though we're getting closer, Tiger's giving reassurance that a deal is very close. It's edging closer, right? And so we're expecting a resolution really soon. Like, what do you think Donald Trump is really doing here? He's going to try to speed up the process, the legal process, and all the legal tie downs PIF has to invest money into an American product like the PGA Tour, I suppose.
Yeah, right. And you got to remember, the LPGA is heavily funded by Saudi money. Aramco is their title sponsor. They fund a huge part of the LPGA. And remember, F1. Don't forget about that sport. It's awesome. Everyone loves F1. Where do you think the money comes from? Large Saudi funded. What else? Football, European football. Right.
There's so much. Everything from UFC to tennis.
That money is deep. It is deep into the professional sports world. So why can't golf have a piece? And let's make the sport better. Not that it's a bad thing, but right now, even Tiger said a week or two ago that the game is struggling. I'm paraphrasing slightly, but he insinuated that he wants to get it back together, and that's coming from Tiger, the most famous golfer ever. So,
so go ahead.
Yeah, it's like I think we're going to get there. I think Rory took a back seat. His game suffered because he was the poster boy.
I think so.
Tour, and he wasn't winning. He's recently broken the streak. He's back. He's got some some glimpses of his old game coming back, which is what we want to see. I want to see Rory play great golf. I don't want to see Rory in the face of the sports politics right now, and none of these guys. So I don't really care about necessarily what they have to say in certain ways. I want to see them play golf, and all together. That's really the simplicity of it.
Absolutely. And look, we're not talking about a few $1 million. We're not even talking about a few $100 million. The word on the golf fairways is that it's a $1.5 billion investment.
Yeah.
And there's a lot more where that came from, supposedly. So really interesting to hear that. And a lot of people have said, including the DOJ, I think the PGA Tour is having financial problems. right? So this would be a huge injection into
Yeah.
the sport. All the sponsors are kind of stressed about, coming in because they want more money out of the sponsors and they're getting less of a product, so it's hard to say
Well,
what exactly is going to happen.
sponsors have left, right? Their sponsors have been around for a couple decades, are pulling out because it's a big investment for the sponsors. Because remember the PGA Tour operates as a nonprofit society or corporation. They have different rules, and it's supposed to be about charity. They need these sponsors to heavily invest into each tournament, and if there isn't an ROI for these sponsors, whether that's combination of viewership decreasing, attendance decreasing, there's a lot of factors that go into that. But these companies that do stake the PGA Tour, it
Yeah,
needs to be worth it for them to get involved. Otherwise, they're not going to.
that's right. One thing that is growing is influencer golf. The
Hmm.
fact that on YouTube it's become such a popular thing now, and I think the mainstream media or the legacy golf media is finally coming around to the fact that their numbers are higher than their numbers. Nielsen ratings for events are much lower than a lot of these YouTubers, like Riggs, who was recently at the Phoenix Open, sitting there with Rich Lerner and Brandel Chambly and talking golf, and they seem so upbeat and they're looking forward to a PIF deal. And Brandel's really changed his tune. I don't know. It
Oh
just
man.
seems like the largest hypocrisy just that I've ever seen. Just because I guess his job's on the line. I mean, YouTube video in general has grown exponentially during COVID,
Hmm.
and even for what we're doing, we're getting a lot of eyeballs on people, and we're trying our best to give a different perspective or talk about the same thing. Um, and it's exciting.
You see, like, did you watch the good tournament a couple of weeks ago at all the I forget what it was called, but they basically had a two-man scramble on one day. The second day was like a horse
Yeah.
race, a shootout, if you will. That was actually kind of fun. It was done on a par three course in Vegas. Part of me, it was in Phoenix. Right, it was the Monday and Tuesday before the Phoenix Open, and
Hmm.
yeah, it got a lot of eyeballs. And you got to look these influencer golfers, if you will. Some of them are very good players, so like maybe they're not tour level, but they are aspiring, and they got into making content. A lot of this exploded during the COVID years, but
Yeah.
good has 1.74 million subscribers on YouTube, and we all
Right.
know it's hard to build subscribers on YouTube, as we know.
Especially with a niche like golf.
Yeah, and
Right.
it's a niche, and they've got about the same subscriber number as PGA Tour, right? So
Well, that's why sponsors are jumping ship and they're expanding their rosters, dropping actual PGA Tour players, and club companies and other companies are pairing up with people like Good because it just makes marketing sense.
yeah.
You're getting a younger client base, even for Barstool. And that's why Good Golf expanded with a deal with NBC, and they bought a TGL ownership stake.
Hmm.
That's pretty crazy.
Yep.
It's a part of the LA Golf Club, right? So they jumped into that, and that's pretty exciting.
It is. I mean, it's bringing the youth back to golf, right? And in a different fashion. Because there's, I don't watch a lot of the influencers, on YouTube, but I do dial in just to see what they're doing. They're making creative competitions. You actually see Bryson DeChambeau is doing very well on YouTube with his Break 50
Yep. Oh, well,
segments, right?
he's
He's got all kinds of great guests. He's had John Daly, he's had Donald Trump on there. He's had all kinds of cool guests come on, and they play a scramble, try to break 50. So
Isn't that one of the reasons golf didn't grow, Mike? Is because the actual players were not allowed to use their own image on a golf course. They weren't able to tape. They weren't able to grow.
Yeah.
And that's why DeChambeau, one of the reasons he left, the reason why Phil Mickelson was having a problem with the rights to the videos and what he was showing. And now they're allowing the players to grow and expand the sport because their demographic, just like Sirius XM, is 65 plus.
Yeah.
63 plus, I think, in Nielsen ratings. So what are we talking about here? We got to lower the bar, get people in the game. I'm a golf instructor, and I was telling you this. Kids these days can't even name one pro golfer. They come and take lessons. They enjoy playing the sport. And that's the biggest change in the sport. You and I, growing up, you would look up to players. You would try to be like them. You would learn about them. Even, someone like myself, I'd collect golf cards. Right?
Yeah.
But, they can't even name one winner. They'll know who Tiger Woods is. They'll know who Bryson is, obviously the big names, but they don't know what's going on.
And that's interesting, right? Because our generation, give or take, whether a bit older, a bit younger, started off getting interested in golf by seeing it on TV, seeing Jack Nicklaus, Arnold Palmer, Tiger Woods, of course. Like, look at the boom in golf after Tiger won the Masters, right? Things got really, really popular. So for the next generations after that, they saw it on TV and got exposed to it. But hearing you say that young kids are coming to play golf because they're just interested in the sport is promising in its own way, because it means like they're interested in the game. They're not really interested. They haven't been, lured into the game by famous athletes. They're lured in because they want to try out the game and they enjoy the game. So I think there's
that just goes to show how bad the product is. The product is bad, but golf is like the hardest sport to actually sell, to actually feature. You got 300 acres, 200 acres of land. You got multiple cameras. You're trying to make things happen. I think the more you make it personable, where the audience gets to know the players, just like before a boxing match or before a tennis match, you could do a profile on players. There's so many different things that could be done during the broadcast to make it more interesting. However, it seems like they ran out of ideas. All the boomers who are in charge of the industry and making things happen are just putting out the same product. And so it's starting to change now, but it's a little late, but better later than never.
Right. At the end of the day, we need the sport to grow. It did hit some decline until COVID. And because it was one of those activities that was deemed safe, and the courses were able to stay open, unlike a lot of other pastimes during that time. It's really exploded in popularity right now, which is good. It's challenging to get a tee time, as any avid golfer knows. You have to plan a little bit more than you needed to a couple of years ago. But we haven't seen many golf courses built in our region out here in Vancouver. Many cities they were stopping the building of new golf courses. So we are starting to see interest in new courses, and so I'm hoping that can manifest into us having more tracks to play, because you do get bored of playing similar tracks over and over again. So that part of the game I'd like to see grow. It's also it's really expensive. We talked about it on the pod before. You have some of the bucket list courses are now looking at $1,000 US to play, or 500 and up. And as a Canadian, $500 green fees like 15 grand for us at our current exchange rates. Being facetious a little bit there, but it's an expensive sport, and it would be nice to see some more competition, some more courses being built that do make it a bit more accessible.
Mike, I'm losing your sound a little bit. It's sounding a little muffly, maybe because you went away from the mic. I'm not too sure. But yeah, so talking about Live Golf, we're talking about Tiger Woods. We're talking a little bit about influencers. We covered the Mexico Open. Just to go back a little bit to the influencers, Mike, Grant Horvat's doing pretty great himself also. he's got a great channel, and he's playing with all the top players, and he's signed a big deal as well. It's pretty great to see the YouTube creators making their mark in professional golf, and it's a whole new world we live in. I find it different, exciting, even like someone like Paige Spiranac or some of the smaller YouTubers out there really making a go at making a living of showcasing golf in a different way.
Yeah, well, again, they're doing kind of influencers match at the Players Championship this year. They're going to do a 9-hole match, and it's going to include, obviously, I'm assuming Grant Horvath's in the field. I know for sure that Fat Perez from the Bob Does Sports crew
Right,
is
those
involved.
guys.
And there's a handful. They're going to play a 9-hole event, and the next one is at Players Championship. So, and we're going to see a few more of those out there. So it'd be interesting to see how this the Creator Classic is what it's called at the Players.
That's incredible. Mike, do we have any of that footage with Trump and Tiger over at the White House? Because I thought that was a lot of fun to watch and see highlights of. For Black History Month, he had a lot of people over at the White House, and it was pretty cool to see all of that take place. Um,
Yes.
Trump's obviously all the rage these days. Everybody's talking about what he's doing. And having Tiger there and having Tiger support Trump along with Jay Monahan and Yasser is pretty cool to see. We know there's a light at the end of the tunnel, and there's some rumors going around today and yesterday that we might even see some live players at the Players this year. Even though there's an event at exactly the same time, there's a few articles out where they talk about there might be some live players over at the Players.
Okay. So let's see here. I'm going to play this clip.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Here we go.
the President of the United States, and with the President is world champion golfer, Mr. Tiger Woods.
Here they come.
Was this at the White House or in Mar-a-Lago?
No, this is at the White House.
Okay. Yeah. Well, yeah.
At the summer White House. Here they come. It's pretty cool.
It is pretty neat. It's almost like a golf event. Look at all those phones.
Oh, yeah, 100%. It's pretty cool to see Tiger at the White House.
Yeah.
And again, we're not about politics on this pod.
Yeah. He's wearing, well, Tiger's there. That's why.
Yeah, Tiger's there. Adam Scott's there in the building.
Jay Monahan.
Monahan's there.
Yasser, I think. And Tiger's wearing some medal. Didn't he get the Medal of Freedom or something?
I believe so. He already had that.
Adam Scott here also, winner of the Masters, one of the greatest golfers in the world. I've always tried to swing just like Adam. It never worked out.
No, it doesn't.
So did I.
Yeah, Adam does have a beautiful golf swing.
The commissioner of golf is Jay. Thank you very much for being here.
There's Jay.
Yeah, Jay. Finally, yeah.
And we had some interesting discussions. But let me ask you.
Remember, Butch Harmon taught Adam and Tiger back in the day.
Yeah.
Would you want to just say a couple of words, Tiger?
Hey, come on, Tiger.
I'd love to get Hank Haney and get his opinion out here. He's been really outspoken.
He doesn't hold back. Here we go. Tiger comes in for a short.
It's an honor to be here. It's an honor to be here with you, Mr. President. And
good short answer.
Here with all of you. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
All right.
So, there we go. We'll stop sharing that so we don't get any flags.
Yeah. So that's pretty exciting. Obviously, it's nice to see golf. I like to see golf being shown in this way. It's pretty cool. Well, Mike looks like he has a visitor over at his office. It's always fun to see. That's so funny. I was just saying, Mike, you got a visitor at the office there.
I know.
Live appearance by one of your friends or clients.
Yeah, exactly. That's how it goes. So yeah, apologize for that.
No, we're just talking about it's really nice to see golf in mainstream media. Well, it's nice to see it in golf circles. We always see it, but whenever we see somebody talking about golf, just like Paige Spiranac recently has been all over the place uh, for the most obvious reasons. She's the biggest influencer. She has the most followers on most social media platforms, more than Tiger Woods.
She's got more than
Well,
Tiger Woods. I wonder why.
yeah.
Um,
Well,
so
she's an attractive woman, and she flaunts her golf. But she was a golfer in college. She
mhm.
did play pro golf. She had anxiety problems, supposedly. There's a great interview that just came out today or yesterday on Five Clubs Golf with Gary Williams, who's been a guest on the show. He's a friend of the show, and talks to Paige and talks about her whole career. I haven't had a chance to watch it, but she's interesting background. She was a golfer, tried to go pro. She was a gymnast when she was younger, and yeah, ended up playing golf. She comes from a sporting family, and yeah, she's doing really well, obviously. And she came into it right when things weren't all that popular, and there was no such thing as going viral, being an influencer in 2014 and 15. She was one of the first.
Mhm.
Like supposedly she jumped from like having 500 followers to 100,000 overnight with some of
Uh,
her viral videos, which
yeah, she was definitely a pioneer in the influencer phase, but she's made a career out of it. She's what's called she's a golf professional. She doesn't play on tour, but she's made an absolute profession. I don't know how much money she makes, but I'm sure she isn't worried about paying her bills. Put it that way. But it's opened the door for many. There's all kinds of influencers have come along them. Tisha Allen, and look, and the Bob Does Sports crew. Remember, like Bobby Fairways.
yeah.
He started off by outside the ropes, just cracking jokes to the players outside the ropes. A few years ago, because I've been following him for a while, and he eventually started to get to know them, got to know Keegan Bradley a little bit, and made inroads. And now he's got deals with Callaway, and like they're part of the PGA Tour approved influencers, and they're working and collaborating with the tour. These things are it's opened up a whole new category. um, I'm getting notes here to talk about the entitled housewife too. Have you seen her, Raf?
No, I have not.
Fantastic golf comedian.
Oh,
She
okay.
yeah, she
That's not her. That was Paige.
that's not the entitled housewife. um, but she's hilarious, and she's done collaborations with the country club adjacent crew. If you see her commercials. She's great. So there's this whole side profession that's opened up within golf. There's so many of them. I can't. There's too many to mention now. But it's great, and that leads to why we're doing this, right? There's the ability with technology these days where we can jump on and provide our feedback on golf, collaborate, and interview other golf personalities, and then that's why we do this.
Yeah, it's pretty exciting. For those of you who don't know, Mike's one of the top amateurs in BC. Grew up playing golf since he was very young. Same with myself. I've been in the industry for going on 26 years now as a golf instructor. And, we love the sport. We want to share our thoughts. For those of you who want to jump on board and help us out or be part of the team or partner with us, make sure you reach out to us through one of our social media channels, or you could always just go to the golf podcast.live. That's the golf podcast.live. A big thanks to Evolve Creative Solutions for helping us out to design everything and work with us. Shape and Swelter, of course, Paradox, Lagmaster, those of you who've been with us from the beginning. And we've got some great guests coming up for 2025 and contests. Like, again, we're giving away a lot of stuff from Shape and Swelter. And we've worked with Paradox and Lagmaster, many other companies, but we've got a lot of new companies coming down the pipeline who are at the PGA show this year. So we're going to feature not only products, but services and do some giveaways. If you want to watch our other episodes, please do so. Go to our website or you go to social media. We've had a lot of great guests, Mike. This
A
is
lot.
episode 107. And for those of you who don't know, people like Mark Baldwin, Jay Delsing, Omar Aresti, Sarah Winter, Fast Eddie, of course, personalities and celebrities as well, and regular folks. We got Gary Williams, Richard Zokol, John Cook. These are, household names in the golf industry. Our friend Todd Lewis and Craig Can have been on multiple times. Len Matisse, current players like Jared Dutois. You might know Golf Channel personality Matt Adams, and local Canadians as well, like Fraser Mulholland have been on, and David Hill, Kellen Ainsworth, and Austin Hughes. You know, Mike, if I went through the list, I mean, that's 100 people. I can't go through
You can't.
talking
Please,
about.
please stop. They don't go through anymore. Like when we started this, 2.5 years ago, I'm like, I thought we'd be begging for guests, but I'm blown away every time I look backwards and I see our list. It's still, I got to pinch myself. I'm so blown away that we've got half the crew from the Golf Channel, including Michael Whalen, not,
One of the founders, yeah,
one of the founders, the
creators.
original producer of the Golf Channel, back when the content was good, with the Big Break and Golf Talk Live, and you could call in and get a lesson. You could call in and talk to Butch Harmon and get him to critique your swing. Like
They seem really stuck. I don't know what's going on with the Golf Channel. There's no youth involved. There's it's stuck in an old formula. I love Rich Lerner. I disagree with Brandel Chambly a lot of time, but he's good
He's great.
viewing
I don't mind him.
analyst, right? But we got to get some younger people on there.
Well, here's my
and
thought.
change up the format and the style. The Big Break
Exactly.
format was great. I mean, I'd love to see. Of course, we grew up with guys like Billy Mayfair, Jim McLean, those guys talking on the Golf Channel. You have all the authors on there that we know, John Feinstein. But let's get some younger people on, right?
Well, here's my thought. It's cheaper to run a rerun of a tournament all week than it is to have programming and produced programming like the shows we've mentioned, right? So it's easy. You can just rerun the LPGA and all the tours. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. They do their, the Golf Today and some of those shows, Golf Central. But I think it comes down to budget. And they can just simply rerun the DP World Tour. Which, I'm sorry, it's over. It's over on Sunday, so I don't want to watch that. I really missed those programs that I would tune in for, and that's part of the reason I don't watch the Golf Channel as much. I'll dial in for some feedback, and I do like Brandel. Just so everyone knows, Brandel's blocked us, so that's like our badge of honor.
That's all happened because of the
Lisa Cornwell and that
Lisa
situation.
Cornwell episode. Yeah, but that's okay. He's blocked me way before that.
Yeah.
But
well, we were officially blocked after the Lisa episode, and we got lucky. Phil Mickelson retweeted a couple of our snippets from that episode and blew up. And so the fact that it landed in Brandel's radar was a great thing. So and it is what it is.
But everybody's said it. I mean, we've had Mark Immelman on and Dottie Pepper, or even Michael Collins, who agreed with us that things need to change up. Things need to be younger. It's like the changing of the guard, right? And there should be like much younger. I'm not talking about just a few years younger, not from like 70 years old to 60. There should be some 20-year-olds. You should be apprenticing these kids to broadcast or take their ideas into consideration on how things should be shot and why, and
like
let them have a place at the table, listen to their ideas.
I got to give it to you right now. Good golf. Those guys, Grant and Micah, they come in for the next big break series.
Sure.
Right? You do something, they, get their personalities, they can host. And then we have the same kind of big break style. I think.
Yeah, and you give those guys a start on tour.
Yeah.
Right. because all they're going to do is going to bring all their fans to the event, eyeballs to watch television. We're talking about millions of followers. If you had all the top influencers in a big break episode, that's a great idea, Mike. You know, you should get your 10% once it
Yeah,
happens.
100%. So, but yeah, I think there's room for creativity in the Golf Channel. That you know, with the popularity of the YouTube golfer, I think they need to dial it in. They could broadcast it on YouTube while and the Golf Channel at the same time. That's one thing I liked about Live, is when they started with no TV deal. It was actually really cool just to flick on YouTube and commercial free. And I thought that was great. And you know, I would like to see the other tours do utilize YouTube as a platform a little bit more.
Absolutely. Guys, if you're still watching, or if you're going to watch this, or if you're going to share it, we certainly appreciate it. Make sure you follow us on our social media platforms and just click on YouTube. It doesn't, it really helps with us growing
It's
as a podcast. We're going to change up the content as well. We're going to have a lot of live on-course things happening in the near future, including tournaments, going to events and venues. So that's going to be a lot of fun. Come with us on this journey. You know, tune in whenever you can, and it's going to be really exciting. And the one way you could support us, if you go to our X account, which is at Golf Podcast Live, we have a Patreon site where you could buy some merchandise. So, you know, the cap I'm wearing, Mike, for some reason, is not wearing our merch, but we do have a lot of merch.
There is a lot. My merch is dirty. It's all covered in sweat stains. So got a new batch coming in soon. So there you go.
So that's one of the caps. Is a sort of the one I'm wearing. It's blue and white, but we got like dozens of caps and T-shirts. We've got branded stuff like tools of the trade. A lot of fun stuff you can go see on our website.
There's more to come.
Yeah.
More to come, and we're actually working on rebranding the show to a certain degree.
You're gonna say it, Mike.
I'm gonna say it because we got to keep the fire under our asses to get her done. But we are going to have some branded segments and probably change the name of the show slightly. So yeah, a lot to come. We'll release that over the next few weeks, and we're working on the background as we speak.
Yeah, it's very exciting. I mean, Mike, I can't believe that we're going on to episode 108 next week. We're going to be on every week. There might be a few weeks we're not on, but we're going to be on every week now until we take our next break, which is in several months. So make sure you tune in.
Yeah.
And we're going to have some really great guests. So look out for some really good guests. And when you get a chance, go to our website. We have the TGPL merch store, and it's now live. You can get 10% off. We're everything from bucket caps to stickers, hoodies, and cups like this one here. And that all just helps us, you know, grow the channel and do stuff that we want to do. And again,
even just subscribe, like, follow, all those engagements boosts the show, and especially YouTube. If you could just go over there, because that's the one channel that we are struggling on. We got pretty good reach on the other ones, but YouTube needs a little needs some love. So hit subscribe over there. We do have some contests in the works, especially with Shape and Swelter. We're going to give away. Rob has sent us a box of a product, so we're going to do some of the giveaways there, and a lot of other giveaways as well. We're in talks with a handful of other companies with some really cool products, and once we finalize that, there will be some other swag to give away. And yeah, so no, all that stuff helps. It's the digital age, so it sounds ridiculous to ask for a like, but just hit those pages and click the buttons.
I'm obviously a golf teaching professional, and one of the things I wanted to talk about is how we partnered with Lagmaster. They've got training aids. They got this great product called the Rock Shot. They got the pop-up plane to help you with your swing wing, the Lag Bag, and the Lagmaster T-shirts. So take a look at that. It's really, really great product. It's a lot of fun to use. and it really just helps your game. So no sense in not being able to go check out what Lagmaster does on lagmaster.com. And that's Mike Dixon. He's a top 100 golf teaching professional in the U.S., and he's developed these products. He was at the PGA show this year again. So make sure you go take a look at what he's doing. And of course, Paradax is a very unique product as well. And Mike, if you want to talk about that a little bit, it's a bag and cart in one.
It is really cool. I have one in my garage, and once the weather gets a little better, I'm going to do a video comparing my current setup with a Titleist bag and click gear golf cart, and I'm going to compare them side by side in the setup time in all of these. But the Paradox bag, it's all in one. The cart folds into itself. The wheels pop into the pockets, and I'm really looking forward to getting it out on the links. And I injured my back in October last year, so I wasn't able to play golf. My last round of golf was at the end of September last year, so I didn't get out on the course with it. But the spring weather is knocking on the door over here, so I will be, and we'll do a little feature on this bag because it is really cool. It's a great concept, very quick to pull it out of the trunk and pop it open and get over to the tee.
Yeah, it's called the AI1, which is the all-in-one. And it has 3 wheels, and one of the wheels is hidden inside, and then the other 2 wheels pop on. So it's meant to be placed on a riding or a push cart, right?
Yeah.
There's lots of different color combinations, easy with shipping and all of that. So I'm looking forward to trying it out myself. I've seen all the videos and all the product, Mike. I can't believe you're going to be using that this year. So I'm a little jealous.
I look forward to trying it out. So, and I got to admit, like I really love my click gear cart and my Titleist bag. But this is a cool product, and I'm definitely going to put it into the mix and see how it performs. Because out here in BC, we play through the rain. So these types of 3-wheeler carts with the umbrella attachment is a lifesaver for it makes playing in the rain tolerable, because you think you want to ride a golf cart in the rain. You do not. You're better to walk. You keep your body warm. You have your hands free while you're underneath a nice big umbrella. It makes West Coast wet golf much more enjoyable.
Mike, I think it's really important to tell the audience a little bit about what you do as well. Evolve Creative Solutions and what they do, what your company does, how you guys have started up and what you're developing. Tell us a little bit about Evolve Creative Solutions.
ECS, as we like to call it for short. We're a tech shop, so we provide tech services that range from website development and marketing, and as far as application and software development services. So if you are struggling with your website, or you need some guidance, or what to do with your site and how to market it, that's where we can help. We excel in that. We got a team of creatives and technical people that can make things look good and function properly. And we have a small office in Mexico with a team of engineers, and so we'll utilize them. If we're going to build any software or applications, we'll work with our team here in Vancouver, and we get some help from our super engineers in Mexico. They're all master level educated people and very capable.
And if you are in the Oakville area in Toronto, Canada, which is the greater Toronto area, that's where I'm from, you could reach me with a DM on X, and I am a golf instructor. So come by and see me if you want to chat or take a lesson. I do video analysis. We do simulator analysis as well. We'll give you all your numbers. That's always a lot of fun. Mike,
and you have a combination of outdoor and indoor facilities available to people. So you should promote that.
Yeah, absolutely. So in the springtime and summer and fall, obviously I'm outside most of the time, but a lot of the players like to come and see me indoors because we use a Foresight Golf Simulator studio. It's a private studio. give you all your launch numbers, your launch angles, your ball speed, your club head speed. That's where we do our video analysis as well. And outdoors, obviously, it's a lot of fun. You could hit off grass or mats, chipping and pitching facility over at Joshua Creek, and Greenside Indoor Golf in Oakville. So come by and see me. So drop me a line through social media if you want to reach out and hang out. It's my 26th year coaching and instructing, so I'm really excited about 2026.
Very cool. Well, but we're still in 2025, so we'll let's get through that first.
Is that what I said? Did I say 2026?
You just said 2026. Yes.
These things happen.
Yeah.
These things happen. Yeah.
So,
2025. Come and see me this year.
Thank you for everybody. I can still see there's people watching. I really appreciate you hanging in there. We'll sign off for this week, but we are back next week with a special guest. We'll make some announcements on social media for next week's guest. So stay tuned and give us a shout and a follow. Good work, Raf. Welcome
All
back.
right. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot, Mike. And if you want to catch us, or if you want to know when is our next show, just follow us on social media. We'll let you know. But usually Mondays is the day that we go on, approximately 3 p.m., give or take a few minutes.
Or noon on the West Coast. So yeah, if we go on, and like I said, the intent is every Monday. We might skip the odd week here or there, or we might double down and do 2 on a Monday to make up for it. And but sometimes things get in the way, other events and projects. But we'll be. This is season 3, episode 1 for the season, episode 107 in total, which is pretty amazing. So thank you very much.
All right, guys. Have a great week.
Bye-bye.